Station and rising now violence climb every day. 99.7 Well, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man, yeah. Worldwide, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man, yeah. Nations, many men.
Right, so welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Oh, how I wish you could, see all the things that happen when we're on break.
Or the mean things that Roberty can say to us sometimes.
To me particularly, and it's sometimes very disheartening. And you see, some people actually think that the man is an innocent one.
Sometimes I enjoy it because he's very protective of me, which is good.
You see, interest.
Interest.
Interest. The only thing that is permanent in this world is interest. So you ask the question in Ghana, what's our interest? Our leaders, what's the interest? Anyway, let me say good morning to all of you listening to us, across the country. For those of you listening to us in the Upper East region on Radio A1 in Bolgatanga, Radio Fumbisi at Fumbisi, Dreams FM also in Bolgatanga. In the Bono East region, Gaskia FM in Techiman, Sky FM in the Bono region, in Sunyani. In the Central region, ATL FM. And then in the Upper West region, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, Radio Somale also in Wa, Bulu FM at Bulu, and Laura FM in Laura. In the Savannah region, you're listening to us live on Inkigli FM at Boli and Magic FM as well as Buipe FM. In the Northern region, let me say good morning to all of you listening to us on Bishara Radio in Tamale, Radio Justice in Tamale, Might FM in Tamale, Saboba FM at Saboba, Jata FM in Karaga, and in the Northeast region, Bewa Radio at Wale. And of course, still in the Upper West region, there's Ganga FM at Jirapa, and Radio Max in the Western region in Takrady. Look, getting cash on the Go from an Absa ATM is now so easy, even when you don't have your contactless Absa debit card with you. For the first time in Ghana, you can withdraw money from any Absa ATM with the Absa mobile banking app using a QR code. It's easy, safe, and convenient. Simply open your Absa mobile app, select ATM QR cash to scan the QR code on the ATM screen, follow the prompts and get your cash out. Easy. That's another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa. Download the Absa mobile banking app today to get started or visit the nearest Absa branch to sign up.
And your favorite Verna water has become a basic staple to many Ghanaians. It is the #1 water brand in Ghana today. The soaring reputation of Verna water was further amplified by the Ghana Medical Association during a facility tour by the executives of the association. Now, after the tour, the GMA, led by its president, Dr. Frank Strebo, recommended Verna water to Ghanaians in a brief interaction with the media. The GMA president said, quote, Verna water ranks among the best and safest bottled water on the market, unquote. The multiple award-winning brand, Verna Water, is certified by the International Organization for Standardization and Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points. It's duly approved and acknowledged by the Food and Drugs Authority and the Ghana Standards Authority. Verna Water is produced by Twelium Industrial Company Limited, the pride of the Ghanaian beverage industry.
Well, Mamavi, before we get into our conversation about illegal mining, distraction for good, the Ochehini, or Sajefo Amwetio for repeating, has been speaking about our environment. Let's listen to him.
Excavator National House. Obidi excavator what is an excavator doing at Tiwa? A Tiwa was the excavator come up with him. You talk for how you see that who the excavator at Tiwa for it. No cross a woman, Kualana as the only scan on the excavator. They have no money. And in Penina, attention was an own yai. As a Ghana, no say what Ghana, who signed the Japadi, Openia, you did Japadi Jow, who buy a who are 1 year beyond home. Now, but you know who send what penny bunny.
Well, so that's Ochehini, Osajefo Amwetio for repeating. Raymond, what's he been saying?
So he was convinced that there is no way any excavator should be in a forest like Acquah Forest. And to a very large extent, he also said it is not acceptable that we are having people who are big people buying the excavators for young people, because those small boys who are doing galamsey, they really cannot afford it. So people are behind them, and that's what we should be able to stop. He's asking for collaborative work to be done immediately so that we don't destroy our forest, destroy our environment, and destroy the future of this country. So in a sum, that's what the respected chief has been saying.
Well, so the point about, persons behind is something that we've been talking about for some time. It's good he's talking about it too. So Otumfuo, at the time he spoke, said 30% of those in the room knew those who were involved in the galamsey. I think we've reached a level where we should be doing naming and shaming.
Yeah.
This speaking in parables and always going around in circles and why is it difficult for us to deal with it? Why can't we just mention their names? If we know them, why can't we just arrest them? So if you know them, report them to the police to be arrested.
But why are you convinced we are serious and we want to arrest them? Let me tell you why we are not. So, for a very long time, there's been complaints about that forest, the Nimri forest, the Tano Nimri forest.
Yeah.
Then the ministry says we have not allowed anybody in there. 2, the ministry says, okay, if they are there, we are going to investigate it. The ministry now sends people, they saw broad daylight that the trucks are leaving the same forest. These trucks are not arrested. These trucks are not kept as evidence, contrary to even what the law says. Then the ministry said the Forestry Commission is investigating. Then on the ground, no distraction. They wait for the trucks to leave. Then those empty structures are the ones we set alive. I mean, listen, for a second. There's nothing in this procedure that suggests to you or anybody who is prudent in this republic that we meant it when we said we wanted to fight it. It's because we select the people who either are not connected or have lost glory or faith, or maybe, have lost favor with government, are the ones whose properties we are destroying. Those are the people that we can haul in. So today, it became fashionable that we can no longer keep Aisha 1. You check the history of Aisha 1. How we have dealt with Aisha 1 up to today. Does this suggest to anybody that we are a serious people? That we really want to fight galamsey? If we were bent on fighting galamsey, we know the people who were in that Nimri forest, their company heads would have been arrested. The law says can arrest them. But we have not arrested anybody in connection with that. In fact, we have basically said the most nonsensical thing about the fight against galamsey. Oh, we are doing an investigation at a time that every single evidence on the ground has been removed. When we saw it being removed. I mean, you ask, the guy broke into my house. The guy is illegally occupying my house. He's engaged in illegality right before the eyes of the police and the military on the ground. They saw it. All that the minister who's in charge of interior says is that, oh no, we are still investigating. So let them pack everything out. Nobody arrests the guy who did that. Nobody's arresting the tools they came into my house with. All the evidence is now said, okay, let's gather the rest of the things they broke in my house and let's burn them. This is the clearest example to any rational person in this state that this country is not bent on fighting anything. We didn't mean it previously, and we're not going to do it again. Unless we let the people be aware that the talk is not only how we are going to fight this, that we mean it on the ground. That no matter whose ox is God, we are actually going to deal with it. That's the kind of evidence that we want.
So,
but if we continue this path,
naming and shaming, not doing it.
Oh, frankly, I actually think that it's not going to work because we have named and shamed people in this country.
We've actually given evidence.
Yes, and we allowed them to pack their truck out of wherever we wanted to. We have named people that should be easy for us to deal with if we wanted to deal with. But we have not done so because we have perceived some people as financiers. Some people are untouchable in this republic. If we know they are untouchable, there is no way we are going to get at them.
Well, be part of the conversation. Join us on Twitter. Use the hashtag #NoToGalamsey. When we return after these messages, we'll bring you the concluding part of our Hotline documentary, Destruction for Gold.
Melcom Best Buy is on. Though we are still in tough times, Melcom says we're there for you. Save big at Melcom when you best buy your groceries, electronics, furniture, and all your daily need items at the lowest prices. Melcom, your one-stop supermarket for all your daily needs. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana truly saves. Melcom, where Ghana shops. Hey, Charlie, this Qatar 2022 is bringing back some crazy memories, eh? Me, dear, the last tournament, I go bet my rent advance. First match, no. Hey, fam, them take show me where I go stay plus my in-laws. Oh. But this year, against my chamber and hall, my Go TV showing all the 64 matches. Massa, made tremendous super pop. Massa, listen, this time with dear Go TV Super. Bema is 64 matches leading now. Get your Go Coder and 1 month plus subscription for only 89 CDs. Go TV. Love it.
This is your last chance to make that dream travel you have been waiting for come true. So take that step with Latina Travels and Tours and join Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete for an unforgettable religious tour of Israel from the 13th to the 19th of November 2022. Package starts from $2,900 and includes visa, flight, accommodation, 3-meal plan, transfer and tours, which will take you to Jerusalem, Nazareth, Jericho, the Wailing Wall, and many more exciting tours. To register, contact Latina Travel on 0244-260-789 or call Gifty on 0270-302-245 or visit the Sunny TV premises or Latina Travel at the Elisa Hotel, Northridge, Acquah. This advert is sponsored by Joy FM, Latina Travel, Sunny TV, Sunny FM, and AGI.
Africa is a continent of great people with great ambitions, great dreams, and great minds. Africa's great minds need an intelligent computer that can help them interpret their greatness successfully. No matter where you are in your journey to greatness, the HP 290G4 10th generation Intel Core i3 processor and 4G RAM 1TB storage desktop will help you prepare today for tomorrow's successes. With its superior capabilities, fast performance, durable battery life, slim and sophisticated design, the HP 290G4 IC6W6EA desktop with Intel Core i3 processor makes learning and preparing for success easier and smarter. Start your journey to success today. Buy the HP 290G4 10th generation Intel Core i3 processor and 4G RAM 1TB storage desktop available at all Compute Ghana stores. Call 0302-752-020 or visit Oxford Street, Makofi Building, Accra, Ghana for further information.
This is a special security announcement. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing, announces big discounts on all sliding security barriers, roller shutters, and clear guards to protect homes and offices from criminals. Trelidor is fighting rising prices by offering big savings and lower prices. Be safe, secure your premises. Google Trelidor or call 0561 24 24 24. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, no buff, no chop, where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Hajia, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selenium. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Ghana, get ready for God's General Senior Prophet Jeremiah Motofufi once again in Ghana.
The grace of God cover you and your family.
With the theme Ghana Recover 2022. It is a 5-day power pack crusade. 3rd to the 7th of November 2022 at the Independence Square, Accra. Time 4 p.m. each night, and attendance is free. And on the 7th, which will be the last day, there will be special impartation and anointing service for ministers of the gospel, politicians, public and civil servants, businessmen and businesswomen at International Conference Center, Accra, at 4 p.m. and is strictly by registration. For inquiries and registration, please call the following numbers: 0540-898202 or 0598-924-929. Jesus is Lord.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast breakfast show in town.
Right, so welcome back. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, and time now for our hotline documentary, Distraction for Gold 3. Now, houses are caving in some parts of the country as the illegal mining has been taken to a different dimension. Reports are pointing to these illegal miners who are now operating in hidden pits in underground tunnels, threatening residential buildings. Just over the weekend, an illegal pit under a toilet facility caved in, killing a young woman at Odumasi in the Santiachim municipality of the Ashanti region. This among other horrible fallouts from the galamsey menace. In our part 3 of the hotline documentary, Distraction for Gold, we will share with you more damning revelations as most forest reserves have been lost to illegal mining and Ghana's gold at the verge of being banned from the international market. This is Distraction for Gold, part 3.
At Owusu-Aboagye in the western region, we encountered one of such mining expeditions at the edge of the town, very close to the main road. A bird's eye view revealed deep excavation in the town. They call it Wasserman mining. We were not allowed to film close to the ground. The leader of the mining group, a middle-aged woman, popularly called Auntie Simple, followed by some men, told us their work there is illegal. She told our news team they've paid 85,000 cedis in attempts to regularize their work.
When government requested the regularization of mining, we started the process and paid 850. We nearly got it registered, but we didn't get any support from our leaders. The MCE will not sign papers to get us through. Our leaders prefer we do this kind of mining in secret.
The environmental effects could be seen close to the roadside. Streams of mining residue flow down from the alluvial washing bays on the hill close to the main road. Houses at risk of collapse from deep excavation in the Owusu-Aboagye area. For instance, on our way from the Bia River, we saw from the main Diaso Ayamfre Road active mining a few meters from the roadside. In what the operators described as community mining, a number of pumping machines and other earth-moving equipment were seen actively harming the earth away. Rugged, dusty, and riddled with potholes, this is the Pristia Bogoso Road, leading to our next stop, River Ankobra. Flowing about 190 kilometers south to the Gulf of Guinea, the once beautiful water source has changed to a highly polluted milky brown. The Ghana Water Resources Commission's turbidity values for February 2022 pegs the turbidity level for the Ankobra River at 3,260 at the Pristia catch point. The pollution is visible on the Pristia-Heman Bridge. But why has various interventions aimed at fighting illegal mining failed? Chairman of the Upper East Branch of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Robert Tampuari, holds this view.
So many questions have been asked. Who is behind this? And the blame will say that it's the small-scale miners and the illegal miners, they are all the same. But we are not the same. But sometimes, if you don't have the way out, people may give you a bad name. And I think that we have been several platforms, some of us always mention that the security is not the solution to the problem in illegal mining in this country. The duty of the security is to keep this country clean and keep the mining sector clean for everybody to enjoy as the way we all came and met it. The security will be there with their numbers and the bad things are still continue doing. Last year, the government of Ghana organized this program. What happened, and we're still seeing what my brother Erastus Saredoko is showing us on this.
Many of the interventions by successive governments have centered on the use of the security agencies, arrest and few successful prosecutions. Experts believe the application of force has not yielded the desired results.
Government seems to be working, or the institutions seem to be working, but we are not seeing the desired result.
Dr. Rejoice Rekujebi is a lecturer at the Department of Planning and Sustainability at the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani. She has been researching into the challenges confronting artisanal small-scale mining in Ghana.
I believe that we need to change things. We need to stop using force and brutality. We need to stop the one form of training and then do a whole comprehensive thing to be able to manage the situation. If not, we'll do this today, tomorrow we'll come back to the same thing and we'll still be talking.
This machine was introduced by the Chinese. It's called the Shanfang. When mounted on a raft, miners are able to mine directly on a water source. They use it to dig and wash samples directly from the riverbed. It is a major water polluting tool. The Ofin River has been a direct effect of this type of mining. The river is now a pale shadow of itself, looking lifeless.
So this is the Ofin River. And it will shock you to know that this used to be very, very clean. But now, as in this bottle, you could see the color of the river. Highly polluted, according to the Ghana Water Resources Commission data released recently.
Samples tested by the Water Resources Commission at the Odaso catchment area of the Ofin in February 2022 recorded 1,534 NTU, described as highly polluted. The Lands Ministry says it has recently seized over 800 of these machines on the Ofin. But a recent trip to Abesua, Abumpe, Beposo, all in the Achimampunua districts of Ashanti, showed over 200 of these machines actively mining on the Ofin River. Deputy Lands Minister Benito Owusu-Aboagye answers why.
We had a lot of challenges because you get to the place where the river is, and these people are in the middle of the river. We had no means of getting to them, and you cannot shoot them. These are Ghanaians. So there were instances where they would stand on their boats and wave at us. And I'll say we had, we were helpless a bit.
Miners, in many instances, have exposed water bodies to heavy metal contamination, exposing communities to unsafe water. The situation is evident in research conducted on soil samples from the Pra River Basin by a scientist with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Exploration of hazard indices revealed that human beings are at risk in terms of this activity that goes on in the environment.
Eugene Ansa, as part of his PhD thesis, assessed the impact of artisanal gold mining activities on the environmental quality of the basin. The metal concentrations were found to be higher than the World Health Organization threshold for safe drinking water.
In terms of quantities that were obtained, they were found to be above the World Health Organization standards per the metal content being arsenic, cadmium, cobalt, copper, nickel, lead, and zinc in the water column. However, these concentrations were also explored from the soil and sediment samples, and their threshold limits were compared to standards. It was revealed that all the standards that was compared with, including established background concentrations of metals in Ghanaian soil, the current levels in the Praia River Basin were above them.
Despite Ghana being a signatory to the Minamata Convention, highlights of which include a ban on new mercury mines and the phasing out of existing ones, the use of mercury in artisanal mining is still a major feature in Ghana. We found indications of the use and discharge of mercury into the environment on our visit to the mining sites within the Odahon Forest Enclave at Manso Tontokrum in the Ashanti region.
If you look on the floor here, you can see this mercury dropped on the floor. And these pipes, looking at where it's going, is leading to, let's say, another source of water. So all these things going into the water and people going to drink is going to be harmful to them.
The UNEP global emission will say that about 37% of mercury comes from ASM. And in Ghana, we have 91.3% out of the various sources of mercury coming from ASM.
Dr. Lisa Yevuga is a scientist with the University of Energy and Natural Resources. She has been researching into the use of mercury in artisanal mining in Ghana.
Ghana has become a gateway for mercury access within the country. Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, they are all getting their mercury from Ghana. As to how legal or illegal it is, I cannot talk about it. The usage in some parts of the country where the mining activities are going on is quite scary. This is very toxic. As it goes into the system, it's very carcinogenic. So it affects your neurological it causes neurological disorder, it affects the liver, the kidney, and for pregnant women, it affects the fetus, leading to disabled children. In water, we have what we call bioaccumulation. The fishes take it in, and then it accumulates in their body. Now, bigger fish feed on smaller fish, and then the magnification is bigger. And human beings also go in for this fish, and then we eat it. And that even makes it worse for us.
These nature crimes affect agriculture. These polluted water sources cannot be used for farming. The landscape is converted to pits and gullies, making farming impossible in affected areas. One major crop affected by irresponsible mining in Ghana is cocoa. Many farmers are either forced or made to voluntarily sell off cocoa farms for between 5,000 and 30,000 Ghana cedis.
The illegal miners dig in the water sources at people's cocoa farms. All the places they are mining used to be cocoa farms. They sell 1 acre of cocoa farm for 15,000 cedis. If they need money, they accept 10,000 to clear the farms.
At Enyinamso, these farmers pleaded with our news team to appeal to authorities to help drive illegal miners from destroying their farms. So this is what remains of the river Enyinam. And as you can see, it has been stopped right here, and the miners are now digging deep within the riverbed itself. And so it is denying farmers here water to water their crops and even use it to spray their cocoa farms.
I don't have access to my farm. These pits they have dug around the farm will force the stream to overflow and submerge my farm. They want us to sell the cocoa farm to them. But we say no, because money from galamsey will be gone in moments, but the fruits of the farm will endure for years for my descendants to benefit.
Even after our reports, no action was taken, and some of the farmers were forced to sell their farms after trenches were dug around them.
If there's any eventuality, it is the chief of the town who will be held responsible and not the one who sold the land. We want them to stop mining, or else we rally the people to storm the place to stop them.
At Acquah, in the Dwabin municipality of the Ashanti region, traditional authorities had to take a stand against miners who were mining and polluting the river Anuru and destroying a once beautiful farming valley.
Previously, I could use 4 acres to grow okra, 2 acres for rice, and continue to farm on the land all year round. But now, if you look at how the land has been destroyed, is it possible to grow anything here? Presently, I can't work here anymore.
Experts believe Ghana is heading towards a future blacklist of its gold due to the illegal processes involved in the small-scale mining sector.
The world wants to see that livelihood of people are not impacted upon, and that people do not make their monies out of any means without it being monitored.
Professor Emmanuel Ahin is a professor of applied geology.
What they are considering is not just because people are killing people, others to get the gold, but they are looking at how the gold is exploited.
The current devastation of forest reserves and pollution of water bodies in search of gold could lead to a ban on Ghana's gold. Director of Research for the Ghana Chamber of Bullion Traders, Henry Osei, says the prevailing environmental circumstances spells doom for Ghana.
It is a reality. I mean, it happened to us in diamonds twice when the UN gave us the order to go on to the Kimberley process certificate. Now, the gold industry is being handled by the LBMA, and they are all concerned about the devastation of the environment. And because of technology, by their standard, based on the OECD, you even have to indicate the GPS coordinates of every mine that you buy your gold from. And they are not getting all this information, which means that the gold is coming from illicit source. You cannot prove that it was mined responsibly. And on the basis of that, now Dubai, which used to be the alternative when we were banned in 2013 by the Europeans and Americans, are also being squeezed to go by these same standards, which they were even fighting against in the past. So for this year, the KYC forms that came from Dubai were even more stringent than what it used to be in the past. So gradually they are squeezing us up.
Irresponsible mining is a contributor to climate change. The activities of mining itself, using diesel-powered engines with the production of oxides of nitrogen, sulfur and carbon, have their own consequence. Scientists have found that turbidity has a positive correlation with temperature. Dr. Anthony Osei Chumesi is a hydrologist and senior lecturer with the Kumasi Technical University.
Turbid waters have a direct relationship with temperatures. For example, turbid waters absorb more energy from the solar radiation than normal ordinary waters. So what happens is that they tend to increase the surface temperatures of these turbid waters. So in the process, they create localized warming along the local areas. For that matter, it affects the climate in a certain sense.
Global Forest Watch data indicates that between 2001 and 2021, trees sitting on 1.41 million hectares of land, tree cover, were destroyed across Ghana. 1.41 million hectares of land is equal to about half the size of the entire Ashanti region, which is about 2.4 million hectares. This represents 20% of all the land in Ghana that has had trees sitting on them since the country came into existence. Though the data doesn't state what percentage of this is caused by mining, this 2018 drone footage showing miles of degraded forest in the western region gives an inkling of the contribution of irresponsible mining. Our visits to the Apamprama Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region, Tabosre and Ankwaso Forest in the Western region reveals the devastation caused by miners supersedes what illegal loggers do to the country's forests. The situation, the Forestry Commission says, has got them paying more attention to irresponsible mining in forests in recent times. John Aloti is the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission.
The focus has been on illegal logging, prevention of fire outbreak, and also looking at the livelihoods and other non-forest products that we find in the non-timber forest products that we find in the forest. But now we have to deal with illegal mining. It's become even bigger because the impact is more pronounced than illegal logging.
On August 17th this year, the Minerals Commission in a press release stated that the Lands Minister has not issued any license for minerals prospecting in any forest reserve. The release, signed by Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Martin Aisi, referred to a letter by Acquah Mining Limited dated August 8, 2022, which was an application for an entry permit to enter the Tanonimre Forest Reserve at Samraboy in the Western region. The release said the application must be processed, quote, subject to the Honorable Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Directive on Mining in Forest Reserve. But even before the Lands Ministry would indicate publicly its position on the application, our checks indicate active mining in the Tanonimre Forest Reserve. A visit to the forest revealed large portions of the reserve already mined and degraded. This drone footage taken few days ago shows active mining linked to Acquah Mining Limited under the protection of armed personnel. The forest reserve is being destroyed with impunity even at the time of airing this report. Despite Love News' expose on military personnel protecting miners in the Odaho section of the Apamprama Forest Reserve, security personnel are still providing protection for miners who are pillaging the reserve currently, as corroborated by the Mentiahene of Bekwai, Nana Kusi Frimpong Kotobre.
My district is Amaset Central. That is where I have my cocoa farm. In that area, there's a forest called Kobo Forest. The forest is guarded by soldiers as people mine inside the forest. I had a confrontation with the soldiers. They said they are on duty. What kind of duty is being held in the forest? Ministers and people in government are the ones protecting them. Because I can't hire military men, if I could, I would ask them to accompany me to the farm to weed.
So why are we witnessing worsening pollution and degradation of forests when government is spending so much on anti-illegal mining interventions?
There's nothing about pass and fail. We are all in this together.
Daryl Bosu is Deputy National Director of Arocha Ghana, an environmental conservation organization.
There seems to be inequity in administration of justice, and that is breeding the impunity. But why do you arrest Ghanaians, put them in jail, and allow the foreigners to go? You get it? So I think until that is done, we need political leadership. We need equitable administration of justice, fair justice system to make sure this is being done. I mean, what is happening? We need some explanation from government.
That is why I consciously use the word collusion. If people who are located within the interstices of power don't allow externalities to come in with heavy machines, do what they do, it will not be possible.
Director of Research at the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Training Center, Professor Kwesi Enin, blames an apparent collusion between illegal miners and people in power for the state's failure to fight the menace with the seriousness it deserves.
So when we use those extraordinary measures, the state must then identify
Kwesenin, you are in this office. Have you issued licenses? Have you done due diligence? Have you failed to do what you ought to do? Those extraordinary powers allows the state to then punish those who have failed to protect the interest of the state.
These irresponsible mining practices across the country constitute a breach of the country's laws. Section 992C of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, as amended, criminalizes the involvement of foreigners in small-scale mining. Though Chinese miners are frequently arrested on the field, many of them are hardly prosecuted.
Justice that doesn't lead to reversing a problem that is making all of us insecure, is going to drive us into environmental refugeeship. It's not enough. I think sometimes justice must be exerted in such a manner that it sends a clear signal that you cross the line, you use your office.
At a recent transformational dialogue on small-scale mining organized by the University of Energy and Natural Resources, head of the Department of Sustainable Mineral Resources Development, Dr. Abdul Wadu Mumin, proposed a solution.
We propose to all stakeholders in this country, including government and the private sector, that given the needed support, government, in partnership with University of Energy and Natural Resources, could establish substations of several satellite receivers across the country. And these substations will transmit on daily basis high-resolution satellite image to the main receiver that we have on our main university campus. And we would then have the main behind the computers on a daily basis to monitor the new imagery that shall be transmitted to the receiving station and can quickly alert anyone on the ground that there is a mess at this particular location and attention must be immediately deployed.
It was clear through our visits that the country's mining regulatory institutions need to be strengthened and adequately resourced to give proper oversight on the sector. Enforcement of the law needs to wean itself from political interference. The problem needs a major political statement from the president to identify and punish political actors using their influence to engage in the illegality. Perhaps the country needs to choose champagne for a few or safe drinking water and a green environment for all now.
Anyone on the ground that there is a mess at this particular location and attention must be immediately deployed.
It was clear through our visits that the country's mining regulatory institutions need to be strengthened and adequately resourced to give proper oversight on the sector. Enforcement of the law needs to wean itself from political interference. The problem needs a major political statement from the president to identify and punish political actors using their influence to engage in the illegality. Perhaps the country needs to choose champagne for a few or safe drinking water and a green environment for all now.
Right, so that's Destruction for Gold Part 3. There you have it. Water bodies, environment being destroyed as a result of illegal mining. And here we just would want to distinguish between, legal and illegal mining. Because as Kwame Jan would say, if you have license, and a license says this is what you're supposed to do, and you go contrary to it, you're engaged in illegal mining.
And even so, there are people who just went for prospecting license and are engaging in mining. That's equally illegal mining.
Exactly.
And we cannot pretend that we don't know that's illegal mining, because sometimes, because how big the company is, we pretend and we move along with it. That is also part of the kind of things that destroy. It's almost like not having the permit or authority to do what you are doing. It's like producing drugs without permit. It's like producing food without the necessary permission and the qualifications to do so. So that's how we should see this. And at least, deep within my heart, if this was a proper state, do you know what would have happened?
Tell me.
After this series, heads must be rolling. Not just the talk, not just the propose we are doing. No. The system put in place to fight illegal mining would have dramatically changed. That the people of this Republic would say, oh, this is a never again moment. That we will never let this thing destroy us. After this particular series that we've just done in the last 3 weeks, nobody with conscience who has failed in the fight against galamsey would be interested in staying in the same office. But for some reason, Christians and people, religious people who occupy our space to the highest level are so bereft of conscience. You'll be shocked how they are so convinced that they should still stay in office, and they will issue statements. They will continue with this. This is a damning verdict on our supposed fight against illegal mining. Their major response so far, you listen, Kili, has been that fighting illegal mining is not an episode. It's a process.
Well, we'll come back to it. We'll look at, earlier you made the point that we should ban small-scale mining. We'll find out. We'll be joined by Stephen Yeboah, who is a natural resource governance expert. He'll be telling us what his thoughts are on this particular issue. He's been working with the African Natural Resources Center of the African Development Bank. We'll see what his views are. And we get to hear from you also on Twitter using the hashtag #NoToGalamsey. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's time with the dentist, and we're going to talk about saliva. This clear liquid that I'm sure you've not given much thought to has a big impact on your oral health. My name is Dr. Gwendolyn Amakwe-Baiche, and this program is proudly sponsored by Pepsodent in partnership with Ghana Dental Association. Saliva is produced by structures in the mouth known as salivary glands. About 99% of saliva is water, and the other 1% is various components such as enzymes and minerals that help with its function. First and foremost, saliva moistens the tissues of the mouth to make us more comfortable when eating and when talking. Digestion of food begins in the mouth with the help of saliva. The enzymes in saliva break down the large complex molecules in food into smaller ones for easy uptake of the nutrients into our bloodstream. The acidity in the mouth increases whenever we eat, and saliva has neutralizing components that minimize the damaging effect of acid on the teeth. Acid on the teeth causes the minerals like calcium to move out of the teeth in a process called demineralization, and this can lead to cavity formation. Saliva, on the other hand, has the ability to incorporate these minerals back into the tooth structure in a remineralizing process to help maintain the integrity of the outer layer of the tooth, enamel. There are a lot of microorganisms present in the mouth, Saliva helps flush excess bacteria together with food debris left over after eating, preventing them from getting attached to the teeth and gums. Saliva also has some germ-reducing minerals that help fight germs in the mouth, minimizing your risk of tooth decay as well as bad breath. So you see, without saliva, you will have problems with your oral health. There are some conditions and medications that can affect the amount of saliva that you produce. The medications include some taken for hypertension and depression, as well as some sedatives. Diseases of the big salivary glands, radiotherapy treatments to the head and neck region, as well as excessive alcohol intake can lead to low saliva production and dry mouth. Dry mouth can cause several oral health problems like fungal infections, gum disease, tooth decay, and general discomfort in the mouth. So to ensure your saliva levels are maintained to protect your oral health, stay hydrated, drink more water. Talk to your doctor about possible alternatives to medications that can cause dry mouth. You can also chew sugarless gum, as chewing promotes the release of saliva from the salivary glands. Your dentist can also prescribe what we call artificial saliva and mouthwashes. These are designed to keep the mouth moist. Saliva is 99% water. The other 1% includes various components such as enzymes and minerals that help with its function. Saliva moistens the tissues of the mouth and makes speaking and chewing comfortable. It also helps in the digestion of food, has a cleansing action, and helps prevent cavities. When your mouth has enough saliva, your teeth and mouth remain better protected. Always remember to brush your teeth twice daily with a fluoridated toothpaste like Pepsodent. This campaign is brought to you by Pepsodent in partnership with Ghana Dental Association.
Are you covered? In fact, how much do you know about motor insurance? Do you know exactly what it takes to make sure that your car is all-round covered the way it really needs to be? To make the right choice when choosing a motor insurance policy, you need to talk to the right people. Dunwell Insurance offers competitive rates and a choice of covers ranging from third-party cover, third-party fire and theft cover to comprehensive cover. At Dunwell Insurance, we delight in paying personal attention to our esteemed customers and ensure prompt payment of claims. So if you didn't know, now you know. Dunwell Insurance. If it must be done, it must be done well.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Destroying generational.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always
of another. And that's what we're faced with when it comes to illegal mining. And this morning we're joined by a natural resource governance expert who's worked with the African Natural Resources Center of the African Development Bank. He's also been a research officer and natural resource focal person at the African Progress Panel, which was chaired by the late UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. Stephen Yaboah joins us. Stephen, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks, Winston.
Great. We'll come to you shortly to find out your views, particularly on the banning of small-scale mining. Some have called for a suspension. Others say, let's just ban it. Raymond here agrees that we should ban it. The Christian Council says we should suspend it. We'll come to you shortly for your take on that. But are you sinking in your bed? And is your mattress failing to give you the safety and comfort you deserve? Get yourself a Royal Foam mattress which guarantees you the good sleep and relaxation you deserve today. Our space setters with attached pillows to the mattresses you buy for free. Get this offer in all our showrooms and sales outlets across the country. Don't be left out. Royal Foam wishes to say a big thank you to you all, their loyal customers, for making them win the Silver Award at the 12th Ghana Business and Financial Services Excellence Award. Please call Royal Foam Mattress on 0202 271 1000 for enquiries. Royal Foam, rest assured.
And the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 is a lifetime experience. Adamsit Travels says that, listen, we're bringing to you best offers so you can get to either Doha or Dubai. With just 2,700 USD, you can be part of the World Cup campaign to support the Black Stars to victory. Packages come with return flights, accommodation, breakfast, tours, and much more. So the packages will allow you to watch the matches while staying in Doha or in Dubai. So just make your choice. Call Adamsit Travels on 059 385 0079 or 055 310 404. Visit Adamsit Travels. They are in East Legon, close to the American House, or you can just go on social media at Adamsit Travels and check out the packages that they have for the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup.
$2,700.
Mm-hmm. 2,700, yes.
Dollars, okay. And you get to watch one match.
It says flights. It's not just watching the game. Flights, accommodation. There's breakfast. They've got tours as well.
Okay. I say one match because
it's a whole package.
Yeah, you think of the group stage. We'll play 3 matches. We'll come back home. Let's go.
Okay.
What were you expecting?
No, I understand you. No, but you can just stay on and watch the rest of the match.
Let's get to galamsey. Let's get to galamsey now. It's very important because we've been talking about it over the past 4 weeks. We've been running this campaign all about galamsey. The fact that we have to win the war. We cannot destroy our environment as a result of illegal mining. Now, the Christian Council has been calling for a suspension of small-scale mining. Some have called for a ban of small-scale mining. Even here, we've had the conversation and said, well, if you are willing to mine, come together as a group and get into small-scale mining, large-scale mining, and do all the things well. Stephen, so let's start from this point. There's been a lot of conversation about small-scale mining, illegal mining, and today it seems to be the consensus that we should ban it. What's your take on that?
I've been following the discourse for quite some time, and for me, a calling for a ban on small-scale mining is the easy option to latch onto. Calling for a blanket ban on artisanal and small-scale mining is akin to throwing the baby out with the bathwater. This is basically what it is.
But
it's
why shouldn't we?
Not the panacea, right? To the banning is not the panacea to the galamsey menace. And look, we've done this before, and why did it fail? Right? We banned small-scale mining for 2 years, and we are still in this situation. I think basically is that you cannot do the same thing and expect a different result. It's because small-scale mining, and take it or not, is a vital economic activity of millions of people. So calling for a blanket ban, for me, isn't the solution. It rather provide a short-term measure, right, and definitely won't solve the situation.
Now, you talked about it's an easy way out. Who wouldn't want an easy way out that could lead to solving the problem?
Absolutely, and that easy way out is what we have used before, and it never worked. So for me, it's never to look onto an easy way. It's better to look at rather a sustainable way of solving the galamsey menace.
Now, you've talked about it being, affecting livelihoods of millions, but they are also destroying the lives of millions. In fact, just last week when we spoke to Professor Sampini, he told us of how in mining areas today, because of heavy metals, you have children who are born with 4 limbs. Some one arm has 10 fingers, something he has never seen. And based on that, researched and realized that it's because of the heavy metals within these areas. Why should people be destroying the environment, destroying our water bodies, hurting children through no fault of theirs, and you say the easy way out will be a ban?
Winston, basically the whole discourse has to be situated, right, in a particular direction. What we have to find is actually a good match between economic sustainability and then environmental sustainability. You can talk about destroying, the rivers, the water bodies, destroying the forest. We are also looking at, how the lives of people can be sustained in most of this mining community, and they're talking about almost about 14 to 13 regions across the country. But the whole discourse has to be on technology. For me, technology is at the heart of this. Look at the tools and equipment that they use in mineral processing. They basically are strongly linked to the use of toxic mercury. So it's then the discussion of having to change, the mineral processing techniques that they use. I think this is where the solution can come in. And obviously, we have seen actually a launch of a mercury-free mineral processing technology known as a gold catcher. And this gold catcher is going alongside the community mining approach of the government, which for me is a vital step, a very important vehicle to reorganizing the small-scale mining sector.
Let me just get some clarification here, because we see these persons, and I mean, in all the medical experts we have spoken to, they've talked about the use of heavy metals. You're saying we can actually do this without these heavy metals that have become problematic for our society?
Absolutely.
How?
Absolutely. So we ask ourselves, what then is the difference between the large-scale miners and the small-scale miners? It's basically about the technology they use. So if there is a technology that will allow the miners to recover more gold without using mercury or any other chemical, why then don't we explore the same option? I think this is basically what the whole discussion has been in terms of the gold catcher technology. So it's vital that we explore this and then actually dig deeper into it. I think this is where, if all stakeholders will come together, would rather provide a sustainable solution and not to seek for the easy option of having to ban. For me, the blanket ban wouldn't be the panacea.
Tell me more about this technology that you say would ensure a sustainable mining. How different is it from what we know today?
Yes, so basically this technology uses a wet system, so it utilizes just a small amount of water, right? Even on the flip side, what we have actually not discussed when it comes to the unsustainability of small-scale mining practices today is that these miners are using a dry milling process, and this dry milling process is actually killing a lot of young people in the mining community. So in most of the mining communities, you can talk about Bogoso or Acquah, you go there and TB cases are very high, and actually other respiratory related diseases. So this technology actually uses the wet system, it crashes the mills, it does the concentration, and then you can recover more than even 90% of gravity recoverable gold without having to use any chemical mercury. And we have seen some being deployed in most of the community mines that have been launched so far. For me, this is a very good step to a fight against galamsey.
And well, we've seen the Shamfans at the time they were brought in. We said we're bringing technology from China. They got into the country. They've been used to destroy the water bodies. The community mining that you talk about, yes, the community mining is going on, but some have also termed the community mining as, a form of a hidden illegal mining. So,
which it depends on what the argument or what the person is talking from. I mean, in an experience, I have seen how some community mining, mining areas have been super organized with all the setups that is akin to what the big miners are using or are doing. So it's basically, for me, not the case that you lump everything together in the case that community mining is basically, an improved form of galamsey. For me, that's never the case. But that this particular program is reorganizing the miners, situating them on a pathway to sustainability because they are made to use, a new technology that recovers more gold without using chemicals. So this gold catcher technology is actually making the difference. And it's quite different from the Shanfan, that comes from China. But basically, this is where, listen, we have to explore an alternative. And that alternative, we have to make sure is driving small-scale miners to the pathway of sustainability. And what is the pathway? The pathway is basically that they have to rearrange themselves in terms of the technology that they use. We cannot discuss galamsey or even the health impact in terms of mercury when they are still using the Shanfan. So if you are talking about mercury and cyanide and the use of other dangerous chemicals, we have to talk about the technology that they are using. And they have to change the technology that they are using to get an improved form that utilizes no mercury. And actually, it's even attached to the use of a pond system so that you don't need to depend on River Pra or River Cobra. Rather, you create a pond system that will help you get together for the same use of water, right? So the water is recirculated into the machine for a miner to work.
So the best way of making it sustainable is a change of technology for you and not banning it.
Absolutely. For me, banning will never provide a solution. And for me, it's also that you will be decapacitating the state in terms of, because it's a vital revenue source for the government. So, of course, this is not a justification in terms of what they have to do. But concretely, the brass tacks then is, what should they do? It's about changing their way of life. If their way of life is hinged on mineral processing technology that they are using, the use of the champagne on the river bodies, for me, it's a no-no. And then it was good that the president had called for a ban of it, over the weekend when he was in the eastern region. I think this is a critical step. And then it's now we come back to where they mine, even if it's not within a forest reserve or not on a water body. If it's situated in a particular jurisdiction, what kind of tools and equipment are they using to process their minerals? I think this is where the issue comes in.
Stephen, this is Mamavi. I've got a question for you. What will be the cost to governments with this new technology that you're proposing?
So basically, if you look at what was launched, the government had launched, I think, about 100 of the mercury-free in June this year, which is good because it's a critical step that they are actually pre-financing for the small-scale miners. So if the miner gets the technology to use, I mean, he has over a year or more to pay back. I think this is, the best. So it's about the government having to pre-finance for these small-scale miners, and then we deploy these machines at a larger scale. And that's basically, we can then look at the issue of having to eradicate or eliminate mercury entirely. And, let's not forget, we actually have, a binding, a responsibility to meet the Minamata Convention, and which basically is to, eliminate or eradicate the use of mercury. So this is a way to go.
And how about the environment that has already been destroyed? What happens to it?
That's a good question. So basically, the gold capture technology actually does mercury-free mercury remediation strategy. So the two things here, there are already ore or tailings in the system that are full of mercury. If you go to Acquah, if you go to even Tenga in the north, if you go to Bogoso or all the mining communities, there are tailings there that are full of mercury. How then do we get this mercury out of the system? Because if it rains, and then the documentary as I have shown, we will have water running into the river bodies, and then this mercury digested by the fishes, and then turn again, and it can land on your plate here in Accra. So how then do we remove the chemicals from the system? That is where actually the technology also comes in, that it can remove the mercury away from the system, so that we keep the system clean. Because if you are even doing a reclamation, what you have to do first is to make sure that the land or the soil is not mercury contaminated. You collect the mercury, and then you can even then start planting trees and other plants as a reclamation strategy.
Well, Stephen Amoah, thank you very much for joining us. We're grateful to you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
And Stephen Amoah is a natural resources management and governance expert. Still right here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And this morning we'll be speaking to the finalist of the National Science and Math Quiz. Mamavi, what's them? Oh, you read science, right?
Yes. For a year, then I went to arts.
Oh, she read science for a year. She read science for a year. Sami Odame did business.
I did biology, physics, chemistry.
Raymond Acquah was also a science student. I didn't read science. When we return after these messages, we'll be speaking to the finalist.
The biggest event in sporting history is on, and it needs the biggest packages ever. Adansi Travels World Cup packages